The topic of the 9th chapter is parallel processing and pipelining. In your course, two sections are there, 9.1 and 9.2. So you have to go by your guidelines. First of all, the definition of the parallel processing is given. A parallel processing system is able to perform concurrent data processing to achieve faster execution time. In order to execute fastly, so here parallelly, two or more processors, small processors are available, or you can call it as the small two or more ALUs, to be able to execute two or more instructions at the same time, which will facilitate the faster execution of the instructions. Goal is to increase the throughput, the amount of the processing that can be accomplished during a given interval of time. So this way, whenever we are going to talk about the parallel processing, not only the execution time will be increased, will be reduced, that will be much faster. The execution time will be much faster. Means the program execution, which are to be two or more programs, or one program is being executed by two or more LUs. So this way, the throughput in terms of the amount of the processing will be more, as well as the execution time will be faster. So that will be the benefit of your parallel processing. Parallelly, the subparts of a program are being processed by two or more ALUs, arithmetical logical units. Different classification of the parallel processing are given. It can be classified in 4 parts: single instruction stream, single data stream. This is the one category. Another category is single instruction stream, multiple data stream. Means one instruction is there and it may work over multiple data. And multiple instruction stream, single data stream, multiple instruction or multiple programs may work on a single data. Multiple instruction stream, multiple data stream, multiple instructions may work on multiple data at the same time. Simple definitions are given regarding all these classifications. The very first classification is SISD, that is single instruction stream. Single data stream means single instruction works on the single set of data. So in this case, in this conventional kind of the classification, single control unit is there, single computer is there, and single memory unit is there. Instructions are executed sequentially, and parallel processing may be achieved by means of the pipelining processing. And the concept of the pipeline will be doing in the subsequent section, right? And single instruction stream, multiple data stream. So here in this case, all processors receive the same instruction. We are going to talk about the execution of the same instruction, one instruction, but the one instruction may operate on different set of data. So this kind of a facility is there. It represents an organization that includes many processing units under the supervision of a common control unit. Means at the moment, more than one processing units are there. Whenever we are going to talk about the concept of parallel processing, means somehow some kind of the parallel activity is being achieved with the help of some kind of the classification. This parallel processing classification means here in first category also, with the help of the pipelining, we are going to achieve some kind of the parallel processing. Then again, in the remaining kind of the classification also, by having one or more ALUs, by having multiple sub-processor, we are going to achieve the parallel kind of the processing. Parallel processing means parallelly one or more part of a program or the data is being executed by two or more sub-processors. It means that. By default in our systems, we do have a single CPU. But whenever we are going to talk about the different forms of the parallel processing, and the entire processing generally is being performed by the central processing unit, CPU, by the CPU only. But whenever the small processors, more than one small processors are available in a system to achieve the parallel execution, parallel processing of one or more instruction or one or more data, so that kind of a concept is called as a parallel processing, and this parallel processing is required in order to speed up the entire process and generate more throughput of the output data. Means the more amount of processing will be done in such kind of the classifications. Next is multiple instruction stream, single data stream. So this is another kind of the parallel processing. Processors receive different instructions but operate on some same data. Means again, one or more sub processors can be there, And generally what happens that one program is executed by one CPU, but this is a kind of a processing where some small processors are available and they can work on different kind of the programs or different kind of the instructions parallelly, and they can work on the same set of data. All the instruction at the moment can work on the same set of data. So that category specifically is termed as your multiple instruction stream and single data stream. Another category is multiple instruction stream and multiple data stream, but which feature it will facilitate the computer system capable of processing several programs using several processors at the same time. Means it can several programs at the moment parallelly can be executed by the small processors, and they can work on the different set of user data at the same time. So this kind of the feature again can be accomplished in this kind of the parallel processing, which kind of multiple instruction stream, multiple data stream classification. Now we come to the some kind of the definitions. The very first is extremely very important. Pipeline. A pipeline is an implementation technique where multiple parts of an instruction are overlapped in execution in the form of a pipe. Right? In a pipe, a number of segments. A pipe is basically a pipeline means a small processor. You can call it as a pipe. A pipeline. In a general way, day to day, you are going to talk about a pipeline. So the word is taken from that concept only. Whenever a small processor is there, it is divided into that is termed as a pipe, and that is divided pipeline, and that is divided into a small segments, say K segments. So each of the segment is working as a small processor. It is accomplishing its own functionalities, responsible for accomplishing its own functionality. So each of the small part is working as a small processor, and each of the functionality, each of the segment will be performing its own functionality. So this kind of a concept is basically called as your pipeline. Okay, this kind of the hardware implementation. This is an implementation technique in order to achieve the execution of an instruction by going through the concept of by going through the different segments working as different subprocessors which comprise a pipeline to speed up the execution, to speed up the processing time, This way the more throughput will be generated, and more throughput in the form of the amount of the processing, and in fastly, basically to speed up the entire process. This kind of the pipelining facility is being used. So what actually it means, that we'll discuss. Pipeline stage segments. The computer pipeline is to divide instruction processing into stages. Each stage completes a part of an instruction and loads a new part in parallel. The stages are connected one to the next to form a pipe. Instructions enter at one end and progress through the stages and exit at the other end. Like we will take one example. What has to be done? There can be the two kind of a category for the processing. One can be the pipelining and one can be non-pipelining. In case of non-pipelining, what generally it happens that all the work is done sequentially, slowly and slowly. The next work will not start till the first work is over. But rather, in case of pipelining, parallelly more than one jobs can be accomplished in an overlap fashion. That basically is facilitated by the concept of your pipelining. So how it will reduce the it will reduce the execution time. This pipelining, we'll see with the help of one example. This is example of the laundry. Like 4 loads of the clothes are there. Like 4 sets of clothes are there which need to be washed. We do have a three kind of a processing units. Some processing unit are there. The small laundry has one washer. This first part is working as a washer that will be washing the clothes. One dryer, the another part is working as a dryer that will be drying the clothes, and the one operator is there just to operator is there just to fold all the clothes. So at 3 stages the work has to be done. Like, and 3 set of clothes are there, 3 loads of clothes are there. A set of clothes, B set of clothes, C set of clothes, D set of clothes. And the washer takes 30 minutes to wash, dryer takes 40 minutes to dry one set, and the operator folding takes 20 minutes to fold the clothes. So if sequentially the work has to be done, how the work will be done? The A, basically that set A will go to the, first of all, it will go to the washer. The A load will go to the washer. It will take 30 minutes. Then eventually it will switch to the dryer. Again, it will take 40 minutes. Then it will switch to the operator. It will take 20 minutes. So in total, how many minutes? How many minutes it will take to accomplish one load completely? 30 plus 40 plus 20. 90
9.
minutes will be taken by each of the load. Yes, any doubt?
No, ma'am.
Any question?
No, ma'am. I'm saying just 90.
So should I continue now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. So 90 minutes are taken basically in order to accomplish with your first set of clothes. Similarly, 90 minutes are taken for the B set. Similarly, 90 minutes are taken for the C set, and similarly the 90 minutes are taken for the D set. So in total, how many number of 360? 360 minutes will be accomplished in total in order to complete this task of washing the clothes, right? For the laundry work, in total 360 minutes will be taken. But what is the drawback in this kind of the activity? Whenever the one A set goes into the washer, afterwards this washer completes its work and then it switches it the load to the next set, next dryer. By that time, if the A is being entertained by the second dryer, then by that time this washer is free. So in that case, B could have been loaded into the washer, and that time may be reduced. And by that time, the A switches to the operator. Then B, once the B finishes its work, it would have switched to the next dryer part. Similarly, in the meantime, if as and when this is free, and A and B have gone across this washer, by that time the C could also have could be entered into the this washer, so it would have maintained a kind of a pipeline. If this kind of the strategy is adopted, so that kind of the strategy is called as a pipeline. This kind of, because these three can be viewed as the three small sub processors. They are doing their own activity, they are processing their own, they are doing their own processing work. So if one gets free, so it can indulge with doing the another work. So this kind of a interlinked kind of a fashion, all the work can be done in an overlapped manner. That kind of a concept is called as the pipelining, and this ultimately will reduce the execution time. So this kind of a work can be done if is basically sequentially the work has to be done. So what could happen in that case? In case of the sequential, in this case, if one load, basically A load, is dealt with all the three kind of the processor, it would have taken 90 minutes. Similarly, for the B, it would have taken 90 minutes, 30, 40, and 20. Similarly, for in order to complete the washing work of C, it would have taken again 90 minutes, and for D again it would have taken the 90 minutes. So in total, it would have taken 360 minutes. But in order to reduce the execution time, the strategy or the concept of the pipeline is being introduced. How would it be done? Whenever we are going to talk about the concept of the pipelining, so in that case, in an interleaved fashion, in that case, in an overlapped fashion, the work, as soon as the one that one work is accomplished, and the load is switched to the next operator, the next dryer, the next processing unit called as your dryer. So as soon as it is free, then B can be inputted, can be entered, can be inputted, loaded into the first processor, and when the A is being parallelly being processed by the second processor. Similarly, whenever the gets out of this after 30 minutes and it switches to the second part, by that time it is being processed in the second part and it is empty. As and when it is empty, the first part is empty, first sub processor is empty, B could have been inputted in it parallelly, in parallel to the execution of A in the second part. Similarly, as and when the second is free, A will switch to the third part, like third, as and when, and then the B will, as and when the B is accomplished, B will switch to the second part, and the first one is free, and then C will be entered into the first processor. Similarly, whenever it has done with this work, so it will be over, and then by that time this B will switch to the this operator, and then it will be as and when it is empty, and then C will switch to this dryer part, and then the first part is empty, and the D can be entertained by this smaller processor. So this way, the execution time is reduced, and the entire activity can be done in an overlap fashion, in a kind of a pipelining fashion. So this is ultimately the concept of the pipelining. And what it does, that decomposes a sequential process into a segments. These are the main features related to the pipelining, and divides the processor into segment processors. Means each of the segment will work itself as a subprocessor for doing its own activity. Each one is dedicated to a particular segment. Each segment is executed in a dedicated segment. Processor operates concurrently with all other segments. Concurrently, all the activity are being done. Concurrently, all 4 activities in an interleaved fashion are being executed in an overlap fashion by all the processors. All processors are busy at the moment. And so that means wastage of time is basically reduced. Information flows through these multiple hardware segments. All these are the hardware segments. All hardware part is there. Basically, the pipelining basically is related to the concept of the hardware. Instruction execution is divided into k segments or stages. K here refers to the number of segments. And instruction exits pipe stage k minus 1 and proceeds into the pipe stage. Means the instruction exits from one stage to another, from k minus 1th stage to the kth stage. So this is a kind of a pipe. It is divided into a number of segments, and these are called as a k number of segments. All 5 stages take the same amount of time, called processor cycle. So what we are assuming, that each of the segment will be taking the equal time to process. We are not varying the time here in this case in order to simplify the process. So that the time taken by each of the segment is called as your processor cycle. Length of the processor cycle is determined by the slowest pipe stage. So at another end, though in the last time we had seen that each of the stage was taking its own time. So sometimes, in order to reduce the complexity, we can assume that all the processors are taking sub-processors. Segments are taking the same time. In case these are not taking the same time, then the time taken by the segment is called as the processor cycle. And in case these are not taking the same time, then in that case, what will be the definition of the processor cycle? The processor cycle will be determined by the slowest pipe stage. So whichever will be the time taken by the slowest pipe stage, the slowest segment, that time will be referred to as the processor cycle, right? And again, we are going to take one more example in order to illustrate the concept of pipelining. Suppose we want to perform the combined multiply and add operation with the stream of numbers. Suppose we do have a arithmetical expression in front of us, and we have to evaluate this expression for the corresponding values of I. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 means our number of values are given for all these 3 variables A, B, C. A stream of numbers are given for all these variables, and we have to evaluate this expression using the pipelining kind of a structure. So how will it be done? Basically, how many segments will be required? The sub operations performed in each segment of the pipeline are as follows. Which will be the sub operations? Basically, that these input values will be taken A, B, C, and A will be transferred to R1 register, B1 will be transferred to R2. Means some kind of the segment will be performing this kind of activity. Similarly, next segment, what it will be doing? It will be multiplying. Next is what? A and B are being multiplied, and that is transferred to another register. And in parallel to that, it is being multiplied. The third variable is being transferred to another register. Again, this activity is performed by some kind of a subprocessor called as a segment. And the last one is, ultimately these 2 values are added. Which 2 values are being added? That this R3 value of R3 as well as value of R4 are being added and are transferred to R5. Again, it will be done with help of some subprocessor. So this way, we require 3 segments in order to process all these kind of activities. One processor, one segment required to accomplish this kind of a data transfer. Another segment or another subprocessor is required in order to accomplish these 2 activities. Register transfer activity. Similarly, one more segment is required in order to accomplish this kind of the activity. So diagrammatically, we can show all this. A and BI input values are going into these register. So this is a part of one segment. And whenever this multiplication is performed, along with CI is also transferred to R2, R4. So this is accomplished by another segment, this activity. And finally, the adding whenever these two are added and transferred to R5, R5 again it is accomplished by another segment. So whenever it is done, how will it be done with the help of a pipelining? So this is a diagram in order to illustrate it. Content of registers in pipeline example, and these are the clock pulse number, basically the time taken by, you can call it, that with respect to a positive transition of the clock, this kind of activity takes place. So how many segments are required? Segment 3. This is a pipelining kind of activity we are going to show you. We are going to show how the previous expression will be evaluated with the help of the pipelining structure. We do have 3 segments. Segment 1 may R1 and R2 are being transferred to R1 and R2. AI and B are transferred to R1 and R2. Another segment is required for accomplishing this multiplication and transferring of CI to the R4. And another segment is required in order to add these 2 values from these 2 registers, and the result is transferred to R5. So we corresponding to these 3 activities, we do have 3 segments: segment 1, segment 2, and segment 3. So what has to be done in segment 1? In segment 1, A1 and B1 are being transferred to R1 and R2. Okay, so first of all, so in a pipelining kind of a structure, will be accomplishing this kind of a expression. So during the first clock cycle, what will happen that A1 and B1 will be transferred to R1 and R2. Okay, so once this activity is accomplished, A1 and B1, we are talking about a stream of numbers. Stream of a number means 7 numbers from 1 to 7. Those are to be, this mathematical expression is not to be calculated only for one set of value. It has to be calculated for 8 number of values parallelly. So one way would have been this way, if you would have used the non-pipelining kind of a structure. In that case, this expression or the sub-processor would have evaluated this expression for one set of a value, then for second set of a value, for third set of a value, then fourth set of a value, and then seventh set of a value. So it would have taken more time. But how can it be done in an overlapped fashion with that of a pipelining structure? If it will start from first set of value of the variables A1 and B1, and it will perform, the first segment will perform its activity. It will transfer the value of A1 to R1 and B1 to R2. Okay, now in the second clock pulse number, what will happen? That once this has been moved into R1 and R2, then multiplication will take place, and the second segment will start working. So whenever this first value has done with transferred, first segment has done with its work, this set of data will be transferred to the second segment, and the first segment is free to process the next activity. So as and when this first segment is free, next set of data will be transferred to the first segment. So A2, B2 will be assigned to segment 1. By that time, A1, B1 and C1 have been assigned to segment 2. Now first, during the next clock cycle, if segment 2 has done its work, then this set of data will be transferred to segment 3. By the time this segment 2 is free, and by that time segment 1 has done its work with A2, B2, A2, B2 will be transferred, shifted to segment 2, and the data of segment 2 will be shifted to segment 3. And by that time segment 1 is free, so A3, B3 will be shifted to, new values will be assigned to segment 1. So this way, in an overlap fashion, you can view that at last the clock pulse at 9, after the 9 clock pulses, this work will be accomplished. The entire work of implementing all 7 set of data. The same here we do have, you can assume what kind of a classification is there. We do have one set of instruction, multiple segments, and it is dealing with multiple set of data. 7 set of data is there that is being accomplished with the help of the concept of the pipelining. So this kind of the diagram you can be asked to draw in your exam. In back exercise, you do have a question based on this concept. You could have given this kind of expression or some customized expression, and you could be asked to explain the concept of pipelining and draw its block diagram whenever this kind of expression is being accomplished with the help of a pipelining. So which kind of the possible segments will be used, and you would be asked to draw this kind of a diagram as well. So based on this, you do have a question on back exercise. You have to solve it. Now we switch to the next concept, that how the
Excuse me, ma'am. One
yes,
question.
Yes.
Ma'am, why in one segment we are performing only two activities? Can't we do three activities?
Yes, it can be done. It all depends on the type of the segment, because see, we people are not going to construct a segment. Rather, these are the actual hardware part which are constructed by the hardware engineers. So, what kind of the functionality they have assigned to a one segment or one processor, accordingly it will work. We simply have taken one example. That's it. The same
So,
example
ma'am,
could have been divided in four parts, or it could have been divided in two parts, two segments. Just theoretically, if you have to illustrate any kind of the concept, because it is given in such a manner in the book, that's why we are taking that kind of the notation. Ki this segment is performing this kind of the activity, and this segment is performing that kind of the activity. That's why only. Otherwise, it could have done the more kind of activity, like multiplication could have been incorporated in the one segment only. Okay, like you can view in the ninth chapter. I'm going to the e-copy of the book. This is our ninth chapter. Let me show you. Only that standard kind of the notations we are taking. And if you will confine more functionality entirely to one processor, then there will be no significance of pipelining. Pipelining means if you are having you have divided the functionality to different subprocessor, work is distributed to the other subprocessor. If you are going to assign more work to a single processor, so more or less it will work as a non-pipelining concept. So wisely it has to be devised in an optimized manner. Okay.
okay, ma'am.
So, right. So, I am going as per all the notations being used in your chapter. Like in a similar manner, it is mentioned in your chapter, and that's why I am going according to that. But otherwise, I have explained you the reason that how it will work otherwise. Right. So we are doing at present we are doing section 9.2. So you do have in your course 9.1 and 9.2. So this kind of the example is given in front of you, and you have chosen the number of segments as per the functionality, and the basically allotment of the work is there. Division of the work has been done, and ultimately assigned to the different segments. Segments are working a small processor, and this kind of the diagram we already have discussed, and you have to draw this kind of a table as well, in order to show how actually the activity will take place in the concept of the pipelining structure. Right. Now we are coming to the next topic, the same topic in the continuation. So next is now what does the meaning of does the meaning of these variables? N is the equivalent to the number of loads, means how much work is there, how many number of instructions are there. And is a variable referring to the number of instructions or loads. K is the number of stages used in a pipeline. It may be washing, it may work as a like washing segment, drying segment, folding segment. As earlier we have taken the example of the laundry. And clock cycle is the slowest task time. It's basically the processor cycle is basically the time taken by one segment. Okay, and if the one segment is taken, if the time is varying from one segment to another, so it will basically refer to the slowest task time. Now, how many number of clock cycles are needed? Basically, I'm going to the book first. I'm showing you the copy of the book. See, how many number of clock cycles are needed? How many number of clock cycles? Like in that diagram also, how to decide how many number of clock pulses or cycles are needed. Whenever you are having n number of tasks, and whenever you are having, let me and increase the size. Whenever you are having n number of tasks and you are having k number of segments, so how to predetermine that how many number of clock cycles or clock pulses will be needed? The formula is k plus n minus 1, and refers to the number of tasks. K refers to the number of segments. Like in the earlier case, we have written as k plus n minus 1. Like in this diagram, 9 has been taken. 9 is working as a clock pulse cycle, or the clock pulse number, one and same thing. How this 9 has come out? So here, how many number of tasks were there? 7 tasks. Like how many tasks, how many number of data is there? 7 data. How many segments are there? 3. So as per the formula, it will come out as n plus k minus 1. This was the formula. No, k plus n minus 1. And value of k is here 3 plus 7 minus 1. So 6 plus 3. It comes out to be as 9. 9 clock cycle. So before drawing this diagram, first of all, you need to derive the number of clock pulses which are needed, or clock cycles which are needed as per that formula. And on the basis, once you draw it and once you determine how many segments are required, you need to write down on the top side all the number of segments. On left side, you need to write down clock pulses, and number of clock pulse you already will determine on the basis of that formula, because prior to that you already know the value of k, you already know the value of n refers to number of data or task, k refers to number of segments. Once you are having all kind of these values, then you go on placing all the values in an overlapped fashion from one segment to another. So this way it will be easier to draw this kind of a diagram, right? Now we come to the next part, that is very, very important, space time diagram. Based on this first concept, generally one question comes of this type, I already told you, and then another question comes of this type, space time diagram. The behavior of a pipeline can be illustrated with a space time diagram. This is a diagram that shows the segment utilization as a function of time. It's a kind of a space time diagram only, this kind of a diagram only. Eventually also we'll talk about the space time diagram. It also will give the same kind of the impression. So the behavior of a pipeline can be illustrated with the space-time diagram. This is a diagram that shows the segment utilization as a function of time. Now the space-time diagram of a 4-segment pipeline is demonstrated in figure 9.4. I'm coming to the figure 9.2 straightforward. The prior to that 4-segment pipeline. It's a simple 4-segment pipeline is given, that you are having 1 segment, 2 segment, 3 segment, 4 segment, right? And the task is going from one segment to another. That's it. With respect to the different clock pulses, with respect to right clock number. This is only the abstract diagram. Now I am coming to the space time diagram. This is a space time diagram that is with respect to whenever you are having 4 number of segments in a pipeline and how many clock cycles are needed. I told you earlier that on the basis of the given information, you have to predetermine the number of clock cycles. How many tasks are given in this case? In this case, T1 to T6. 6 tasks are given. So whenever you are having the 6 tasks, 4 number of segments, by placing all these values in this formula, you will be getting 9 clock cycles. What is the formula? K plus n minus 1 number of clock cycles or clock pulses, right? Here on left hand side you have taken the segments, on top side you have taken the clock cycles. So in vice versa also, in vice versa fashion also you could have taken. So these are the clock cycles, 9 clock cycles. 4 plus 6 minus 1, it comes out to be as 9. So 9 will become as your clock cycles. So again, task ko you are going to refer with the help of T1, T2, T3 and T6. Now you will be mentioning it in this manner. You are having 4 segments. You will be placing T1 in one segment. During the one clock cycle, this one segment will be performing your task T1. Once it does accomplishes the task, T1 will be shifted to T2. During the second clock cycle, it will be shifted to T2. By that time, segment 1 is free. Because it is free, so T2 is basically inputted in the segment 1. Now by that time, during the second clock cycle, when T1 is being processed by segment 2, by that time the T2 is being entertained by segment 1. So this is an in overlapped fashion. And once it is done with, then during the third clock cycle, T1 will be shifted to 3. By that time, T2 will be shifted to 2 and T3 will be introduced in third segment. So in an overlap fashion, at the same moment, during the same third clock cycle, all 3 activities, all 3 tasks, T1, T2, T3 are being processed by 3 separate segments in an overlap fashion. Similarly, once it has done with T1, it will be shifted to T4 during the 4th clock cycle. T2 will be shifted to third segment. T3 will be shifted to second segment, and the T4 again will be introduced in the fourth segment. So this way, till T6, all the work has been done in a pipelining fashion, in an overlap fashion, and this entire diagram is called as your space-time diagram, and that is extremely very important from the exam point of view. Like here in this, what configuration is given in front of you, that a pipeline is given that consists of 4 segments, and you are given 6 tasks in this case to draw the space-time diagram. You will be asked this kind of a question, or sometimes you will be asked that there are 6 segments or more number of tasks. It may be 10, it may be 12. Again, you will be asked to draw this kind of a space-time diagram. So this kind of a question comes up, and how many number of clock cycles are required, that again you have to explain. And this is called as a speed up formula. Speed up formula is also very important. Clock cycle is basically TP. This is a clock cycle. Speed up formula is basically the ratio. What it is, the speed of a pipelining processing over an equivalent non-pipelining processing is defined by the ratio this one. What is the speed up? Now, consider a non-pipeline unit that performs the same operation and takes an equal time to Tn to complete each task. The total time required for n tasks is n Tn. It is saying that speed up is the ratio of the time taken by the non-pipelining structure with respect to the time taken by the pipelining structure. So this is the time taken by the pipelining structure. I said 9 clock cycle. Clock cycle is for clock cycle TP notation is being used. This TP means clock cycle. K plus n minus 1 number of clock cycles will be used in order to accomplish this task, and means 9 number of clock cycles in this case are being used in order to accomplish this task. In case there would have been non-pipelining structure, and one segment, one pipeline takes Tn time in order to accomplish one task, then n tasks will be accomplished in n into Tn clock cycles. So speed up is what? Speed up is a ratio of the time taken by the non-pipelining structure with respect to the time taken by the pipelining structure. So this ratio is called as a speed up factor, and in back exercise sometimes the value of this speed up factor can be asked, right? So this formula is important. This space-time diagram is important. Prior to that, the earlier diagram we have done, the segmentation diagram, this is also space-time kind of a space-time diagram only, and this kind of a segment diagram can be asked in the final exam. Now we because still section 2.9.2 is there only, and moreover this formula also is there, little formula. This condition, as the number of tasks increase and becomes much larger than k minus 1 and k approaches the value of n, under this condition the speed up works as. It says that when there is a large, when the value of n is drastically high. Drastically high means then in that case the k minus 1 will be negligible in that case, and this k plus n minus 1 will approach the value of n, means in case you are going to talk about 10,000 number of tasks, say, and segments are only 4 or 3. So 4 or 3, 4 or minus 1 will be 2. So 10,000 plus 2 will be just equivalent to 10,000 only. It will be approaching the value of n in case the value of n is very large. So in that case, speed up ratio. What will be the speed up ratio? This Tn basically will be, it will be n will be equal to k plus n minus 1. So it will be cancelled. These two values will be cancelled, and it will be equal to Tn divided by Tp. Basically, only the time taken. It can be represented in terms of the time taken by the non-pipelining with respect to the time taken by the pipelining. So in that case, whenever value of n number of tasks is extremely very high, the value of n will approach to this value only. It will be almost equivalent to this value, and this value will be cancelled. Ultimately, we will be left with this kind of a value. These formulae may be used in solving the back exercise question. This is the only reason that I am telling you. If you assume that the time it takes to process a task in the pipeline and non-pipelining circuit, in that case these two value Tn value will be same. If in case both, this is a kind of assumption that in case pipelining and non-pipelining are taking the same time. So again, so that means in that case the entire non-pipelining will be equivalent to the pipelining. That is one assumption, right? So this was there till 9.2. That's it about this chapter. And based on this concept I have told you, you have to solve back exercise question that already I have given you in the form of the assignment, beginning from 9.1 to till 9.5. So first 5 questions you have to solve, and you have to submit me in the form of the assignment. If you do feel any kind of the doubts, you can bring it in the next class. And we are now left with few doubts of your third chapter that you keep on marking. We'll discuss in the next class.